we answer the question of whether there will be an oversupply, let's take a look at the existing supply in the new launch market. For Lentor Modern, it has already achieved TOP and was almost fully sold on launch day. Hillock Green left 3 units, Lentor Hill Residences 100% sold, Lentor Mansion 100% sold, Lentor Central also 100% sold, and for Lentoria, about 21 units left. 21 units out of 2954 units, that's 0.81% of balanced units left in the markets for sale.
Less than 1%.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, is there a demand in Lentor?
I think this launch will be highly anticipated because a lot of people have been waiting for this to actually come up. And in fact, what I noticed that's really interesting is that there's an upcoming land plot that Gogo Land has actually bidded, which is the plot number 8. So this plot is actually right next to the MRT station. In fact, it's right next to Hillock. It's the one also with pretty unblocked views, okay? And what happens is that they actually bidded 1,200, okay, which is like 300 PSF higher than Lentor Garden Residences itself. So is Lentor Garden Residences going to be quite undervalued? Okay, now when I look at the master plan for Lentor Gardens, right, firstly, what I notice is very telling already. It's going to be one of the last few high-rise plots because the rest of them are going to be low-rise. Like these few plots here, they're all going to be low-rise. So if you're looking for something high-rise in Lentor, this as well as the plot number 8 might be the last few. And then at the rest of the area you actually see near Tagore side, there's a lot of land that has been earmarked, but it hasn't been released by the government. I think the government is now releasing land plots here because they're encouraging a lot of young families who are upgrading to actually come nearer to the Ang Mo Kio area, to like a mature township.
So building on that, you can see that why the government is trying to move young families here. In many of the developments, they will all house an early childhood development center. Likewise, with Lentor Garden Residences, within the development, there will also be childcare facilities which will be put up for rent. Even down to the mall and the tenant mix within the mall, we have Play Facto, Mulberry, Christophery, even arcades. All these are all catered to tuition centers for kids as well as areas for them to hang out and play. So you can see what the government is trying to plan for the Lentor Township is for this area to have many of the young families to set up roots there and to spend at least the first 10 years or at least after they are done with primary school to be all well contained within the whole Lentor Township.
Yep. So a lot of malls, sometimes they might be a bit pathetic. They don't have a lot of shops. But I realize the shops here are really good. They have family clinic. They even have massage, optometrist. I think parents need all this kind of, shops.
It's basically a one-stop shop. Lentor Modern, admittedly, is not a very, very big mall, but so far
the important ones are here.
You've got
basically.
it all. You've got it all there.
Yep. Speaking of which, let's actually take a look at the profits. Okay. So in fact, for Lentor Modern, a lot of the ones transacted lately were all the 3 and 4 bedrooms, which shows the demand in this area for own stay families because of the draw for the size of the units as well as near good schools and all that. The highest profit that we've seen so far is a 4-bedder. That made about 500,000. The rest of the 3 and 4 bedders have made between 300 plus to 400 plus, which I think is fairly decent in this market actually.
Which is about an annualized gain of about 5% on average, which is pretty good for a 3-year holding period.
Exactly. Now, when we look at Amor Residence, which is one station away, we also see a similar trend because both of them TOP about the same time. So for Amor Residence itself, okay, the 4 bedders are actually clocking in profits. They are close to 700,000 even, and even the bigger units, the 3 bedders, are also all crossing 500k. So I feel that these 2 developments just show the demand in this area, and I feel that this kind of results is still going to continue in the next Lentor projects as well.
Back to the question of whether there will be an oversupply in the Lentor Township. So let's take a look. So with Lentor Garden Residences joining the mix in the Lentor Township, it brings the overall total new supply to 3,453 units. And before we answer the question whether there's an oversupply, let's take a look at the unit mix within each of the developments as well as the unit mix as a whole in the whole Lentor Township. Then from there, we'll be able to see which units are actually of an oversupply and which units, if you were to buy into, you still have a very good chance of being able to stand out in the resale market because there's not much of a supply of it. So if you look at the total new supply in the Lentor Township based on bedroom types, surprisingly, for the 1 bedroom, it takes up 6.9% of the total supply. What this tells us also is that for this township, the government really is planning for, and even the developers, they are planning for not so many single owners to be staying in this area. And for the 2 bedroom, it holds about 41.7% of the total number of supply out of these 3453 units. For the 3-bedroom units, this is also inclusive of the 3-bed plus study, 3-bed dual key, you have 1,134 units, which take up about 32.8% of the total amount of units within Lentor, the Lentor Township.
Yep.
And if you look at the 4-bedroom, it's about 17.2, which is 595 units. And for the 5-bedroom units, you only have 48 units out of this 3453 units that are available as part of the supply. So when there's the question of, is there an oversupply? If you were to look into the overall amount, you'll realize and you'll be able to see very, very clearly that yes, within the 2 bedrooms, there is quite a high supply of units in the market. So if you're a current owner of a 2-bedroom in the Lentor Township, or you're looking to purchase a unit within the Lentor Township that is a 2-bedroom, there is a specific strategy that you need to adopt. If you're looking to buy for an investment, you want to be able to buy a unit which is rare and also has a good demand, and a unit that you do not face too much competition when you want to exit. And if you just look at this pie chart itself, it will be something in this area where the supply is not high and you have a good chance of exiting. So if you're already holding a unit in the Lentor Township, or if you're looking to buy into the Lentor Township, before you do that, let's take a look at the potential TOP dates for you to plan your strategy.
Okay, so actually, in fact, the clients that bought with me, there's a mix. There's 2, 3, and 4 bidders, okay? In fact, a lot of people talk about the oversupply, but I realize that a lot of the projects are going to TOP this year. In fact, a lot of the supply are within this year itself. For example, Lentor Modern, already TOP. Okay, right now it's under sub-sale. Units are being leased out. And the Lentor Hills is actually end of this year, Q4 2026. And Hillock Green is actually Q3. So I've actually been meeting out with my clients who bought Hillock Green as well as Lentor Hills to understand their plans a bit better. And because they bought 2 bidders, I also told them because the entire township, 41% are 2 bidders. That's why timing of the exit is very strategic and very important. Okay, next we look at Lentoria, as well as Lentor mentioned. All these were TOP actually next year Q2, as well as probably end of the year for Lentor mentioned, or 2028. Lentor Central will be 2029, 2030. And the thing is, all these projects here are under the 3-year seller stamp duty period. Whereas for Lentor Gardens, it's the only one with a 4-year seller stamp duty. All the land prices, right? And then also, I've put up the latest land bid from Guoco Land.
So this is the 8th plot of
This is
land.
the 8th plot, okay? This one is the 8th plot, 1278 per square feet PPR, whereas Lentor Gardens is actually 1920. So it's actually the lowest amongst all the plots here as well.
So Site 7 will be launched before Site 8, right? And Site 7 was bought at 920
Yep.
PSF PPR.
Well, considering that Lentor Garden Residences got it at 920 and Lentor Central, which is by Guoco Land, has it at 1002, you already have a buffer in terms of price because you already have Guoco Land, which is the main stakeholder in this area to think the 价钱 for you. For those of you guys who don't know Chinese, basically, they help to hold up the price, which means that whatever prices that you would enter into Lentor Garden, which we'll analyze later, okay, you'll see that actually Lentor Central can help to actually buffer that price for you.
So basically, something which is launched earlier, bought at a lower pricing versus something which is going to be launched later, which has
Higher pricing.
already much higher pricing of $300 plus more PSF PPR. So there's very, very good and a healthy buffer for you if you were to enter into Lentor Garden Residences. But of course, that being said, the different unit types within the development itself will be priced differently. So it's very important to have someone to guide you on launch day to ensure that you select the right unit.
3453 units.
That's the total number of supply in the Lentor Township, excluding the 8th floor of land that's going to hit the market. So understanding your exit strategy is extremely important so that when you decide that you want to sell, you're not stressed out. So having an exit strategy, a very, very clear one, allows you to buy with assurance today. So scan the QR code, reach out to us. Depending on the different unit types you have, there is a different strategy that we will be able to recommend to you
depending on
your holding power as well as the unit that the unit type that you're looking to buy.
Yep, so not just the sweet spot, but we also map out your exit strategy, like what I did for my clients who actually bought Lentor Hills as well as Hillock Green with me. We actually map out all this thoroughly for you guys. And if you like our content, do subscribe and like, and we'll see you in the next one. See you guys!